Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Transformational Show. You are on the right place on the right time. Transformational Show every Saturday, 9 p.m. I'm your host for tonight, Daniel. I am not alone today. And today we're going to talk about a very important topic like we always do in Transformational Show. We're going to talk about the power of integration. We're going to talk about immigration, and so much more. I have two ladies tonight with me. So they're going to introduce themselves in a few minutes. So I'm going to give you 30 seconds to subscribe, to follow, and to share this link to as many as you can. Then we're going to come back, and I want you also to grab a piece of paper, a pen, and grab a glass of water or tea or coffee, whatever you like. You connect so we engage together. We're going to learn a lot tonight. So give me 30 seconds, so you can connect, subscribe, and share. See you in 30 seconds. Good evening, dear viewers. Welcome again on Transformational Show. Without further ado, I'm going to introduce the guest for tonight. A very interesting panel I have tonight. So I want you to stick around so you can learn, so we can learn together. The first, I have a lady. I'm going to connect her here. She is Madame Joseph Catherine. Hello, good evening. Hello, we can hear you now. How are you,
Hi,
madam? How are you doing?
very good. Thank you for having me.
Good evening indeed. Good evening indeed. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Like I said, my name is Catherine, and I live in Ireland. I'm originally from Nigeria. Before coming to Ireland, I did a first degree in international relations and history. And getting to Ireland here, I think after a year, I went on to do like a travels and tourism course, and I learned about Irish culture and their history and heritage. I went on to do another degree in hotel and leisure management. Then I started to work in customer service. At the time, I also worked in as a waitress and a few other voluntary work that I've been doing. So at the moment, I founded a group, an ethnic minority group here in Ireland called the Ethnic Minority Hub, where we look after each other, where we support each other. And I'm also presently the Longford Green Party Island representative for
Oh,
County Longford. So
awesome,
that's
awesome,
little me.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you tell us a little bit more about the group that you founded, the Minority Hub? What does it represent? What is it all about?
Brilliant, thank you. And so that was born out of my own personal experience. While I told you about my time in the university here in Ireland, and also working in customer service and other areas all the places that I've worked in Ireland. I've had experiences that gave birth to that inspired me to start a group to support our people, because I've always said this to people, that I was wondering at one point that if with the little education that I have, if I still struggle so much to be able to get
Mhm.
to do some things and to even have access to information, and this is so difficult for me as someone with that little knowledge. I just wonder what that will be for other African or other minority people like myself that don't even know somehow even how to do emails, or even how to write letters, or even that are not very good academically, because at the end of the day, we know that we're from a background where it's not everybody that had the opportunity to go to school, and not even everybody can even speak English. It is an English speaking country, and things are
Yeah.
so difficult. that way for anyone like that. So I just felt I just felt it was necessary to have ourselves to have this group so that those that have those strengths, they'll have those knowledge, or have access to information like myself, will be able to share with others and to be able to support them in any way that we can. And that's what we've been doing for the past going to 2 years now, being there for each other, empowering each other, supporting each other, learning from each other, and most importantly, giving each other that power of knowledge, of giving each other the access to information and to jobs and all the things like that. So that's what the group is about, basically.
Awesome. That sounds very good. Empowering each other with the knowledge, it's so crucial, especially at this time, and social media, as it is one of the greatest tools to do just that. So we're going to talk more about this great initiative that you will be able to put together, with other people as well. But again, we are not alone. It's not only two of us tonight. We also have another lady which we're going to introduce right now. And brace yourself, here she is. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, how are you doing? Can you introduce yourself? Your name is
I'm doing
Francine.
good, thank you. Yes, that's a French name. I'm doing good. My name is Francine EGBALOGBALO. My husband is Punga. I have Francine EGBALOGBALO Punga. I'm originally from DRC Congo, and I've been in Ireland for 3 years now and a half. So yeah, so far so good. I'm on healthcare assistant. That's what I'm doing. So just trying to give back to the community and yeah, to do my best. So far so good.
Awesome. Giving back to the community, that's what we stand for. We don't just come in here to
Yeah.
take, but we take, we learn, and we give back to the community. Well said, Francine. So your name is French. Are you French yourself, or where are you originally from? From the
I'm
DRC,
originally
you
from
said.
DRC Congo.
All
Yes,
right.
yeah.
Okay,
So
very
that's
good. And
I
how long are
speak
you in
French.
Ireland?
I'm here in Ireland only for 3 years and a half. Yeah, 3 years and a half.
Oh wow, 3 years and a half, and
Mhm.
your English is quite very clear, very clear. And for having that mindset of giving back to the community is really great. It's a great initiative. So tonight we're going to talk about the power of integration, and I see having that mindset of giving back to the community, that is so crucial. As an empowerment for immigrants, or for to integrate. So can you tell me, what is integration? What is the power of integration? Either one of you can
For me,
answer.
the power, yeah, the power of integrating in the country, it's just that everyone I have to give back to the whole community, no matter where you come from, no matter the religion that you believing in. So as long I'm not sitting down just waiting for social or someone to come and help me, because first of all, me in when I arrive in Ireland with my children, I really experienced that there's a warm welcoming that they did welcome me and my children. So that really touched my life. So I want to just to do my best to integrate there, because I find people in the community that are very good people that are here in Ireland. Irish people are very good. So yeah, I just want to do my best to go in, and the power of integrating it, it's very important to every community, and to have a strong economical and more exclusive society, that I can say. Yeah.
Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. And Catherine, what is your take on that?
Oh, that's really good. What Sister Francine had just said is powerful, because you see, it's just two ways, in a way that when you come into a country, you're coming from your own country. And this is a message that I believe that most of us Africans need to learn, is that we're coming from our own countries because we feel that things are not done the right way there. Some of us come out here because they're running for their lives. So some are not doing well and financially and all of that, or one issue or the other. It's the reason you come out here, or you just want to give your children a better life and all of that. But in coming into that country, like Sister Francine said, you don't just come and exist. You don't come and be ungrateful to the community that are giving you that security and that benefit, and that you have to be able to, you have to be able to participate in that community. Giving back, very good, like giving back. And it's so good that you're going to work, it's so good that you're contributing to the economy, but there's another huge aspect that our people are not thinking about, is the fact that you have to also know that all these lovely things that we're seeing in this country, there are certain people that are sitting down and putting these plans and these policies together, and are making sure that we have the good roads, and making sure that our needs are all met. There are people that are responsible for making sure that these things happen. And the truth is that there's a huge spirit of community in Ireland where everyone is working towards making sure that they have a good community for themselves. You have to be part of that. And because you need to learn about the culture of the people that you're living with. If you don't learn about them, you're just doing your own thing. And that way you are not integrating, because you're just living in your own world, even though you're still living in the same country. You don't get yourself informed, and you're not participating in knowing the people that you've come to live with. And this is the reason that we're starting a program very soon, because I believe that migrants should learn the culture of Ireland. They really need to learn about the people of Ireland, their
Absolutely.
values,
Yes.
what they like. You need to learn. You need to show them that you're actually learning about them. Everybody feels proud to know that somebody's taking interest, to know about their friend. Even if you're having a friendship, your friend is so happy when they know that you're even going to the extra mile of learning about them, how to please them better, and why they are also pleasing you. So it's a two-way thing. We were
Yes.
thinking that by having this comfort, we had to give back by volunteering, by participating, by coming out to learn about them, participating in their own activities, their cultural activities, the things they do apart from jobs. You have to also go out and do that, and let your children come out and do activities and all of that. You have to be involved in the society. So that's all part of integration. Um, and that's
Absolutely.
something we really need to
Absolutely.
look into.
Yes, absolutely. And can you tell me about what kind of barriers can we encounter for integration? What kind of integration barriers? Because it doesn't happen that smoothly. You know, it's not like, okay, you come in a country and then everything is smooth, everyone is open. Like Francine said, everyone is good. It doesn't happen all the time. There are people also encounter pushbacks. Encounter discrimination, encounter rejection, encounter a lot of things which they feel kind of demotivated. In order to integrate, they actually segregate themselves from the people that they meet in the country, and then they build their own small group, small society where they feel safe. Can you tell me a little bit more about what kind of barriers are there, that prevent people to integrate that easily? That question
100.
is for both of you.
Brilliant.
For me, I would
100.
say that, oh, you go for.
Krista Francine, you can go first. Go for it. Go first.
For me, I would say, for me, I want to, I like my mind to be free. I don't see any barrier, because there's most of people are very friendly, and some of people, they will show you that you're not really welcome here. So for me, I go for positive people. I go in a place where I feel like, okay, I don't want to put it in my mind, because it's going to destroy all my body. What am I going to do? I'm going to do my best to find the people that are positive, people that are telling us that you're doing good. And the only thing that I find in Ireland here, it's people are really, they will encourage you, like even at work, everywhere, you feel like they are telling you that you're doing good. Oh, you're a good woman. Oh, well done. You know, that motivation, that what I need, that's what I want. So I ran away for the, negative people. I go to the positive one. Those one want us to go. Those one don't mind about our culture and stuff. They just feel us like you're welcome and you can do it. You're a good woman. You're doing good. So there's a big challenge and the barrier that you just have to put in your mind that I have to cut it off and go for what I want and go for what I came from, because I remember in Africa, we didn't know, in Congo especially, we didn't know about all the culture and stuff. For us, all colors or skin was just like a person that we see, and I don't really put it in my mind because I know it's going to destroy me personally. It's going to destroy me, so I don't see it like that here for me.
Awesome. Yeah. So you don't see color, or you see color,
No,
but you
I don't.
navigate through it in order to go for your goals, right?
Of course, of course. Even
Okay.
at work, to be
Mm,
a healthcare assistant, and some of you can see that, okay, your colors and where you come from, they want to know. So I'm like, yeah,
mm,
I'm from Africa, and some of the clients are very friendly. They're like, oh, I've been in Kenya. Oh, I've been in Uganda, and they speak. So when they speak like one of the African language, I feel so excited. I feel so good, and then I want to teach them more about Africa. Okay, Congo is not Africa, but it's in a part inside Africa. Africa is a continent. So that's the people that I want to be with, not to see like, okay, no, that's no for me.
So give them a little bit of
Yeah,
geographical and a bit of history of Africa.
of course,
Yeah, yeah,
of
that's one of
course,
the
yeah,
ways of bridging the gap, about because a lot of people think
yeah,
that Africa is one big country. When they see a dark-skinned person, okay, you are from Africa,
mm,
and
of course,
unfortunately, the images that many have from Africa, about Africa, are negative. In when the only images they have is the poverty and they have images about poverty, diseases, all those
yes,
degrading images. That's what they have, and they don't know any better. And when they see somebody who comes from that part of the world, especially for those who've never been there, they only see those images
mm,
on TV, on ads, people asking for money, for donations and everything. So they associate all dark-skinned people who come from Africa, that everyone came from those circumstances. So then the respect is a little bit lower because they think, those people, they came in here, for,
for money, mm,
yeah, for economical reasons. You understand? So,
mm,
and I think for me, that is one of those one of systematic thinking that can cause barriers for integration. What do you say, Catherine?
mm,
Absolutely, I couldn't agree with anymore. You guys are dead right. And the truth about the barrier issue is that, like it or not, and you can appreciate the very nice people in the society, but we cannot ever forget or be oblivious of the fact that there is systematic racism in the system. We cannot forget that even if we're able to navigate our way, and if we're able to just ignore the signs and the reactions and the fact that some of our minority people are in workplaces and they cannot progress in their career. They are not given the training equal right like other colleagues that are Irish or that are the other, and they are not given that opportunity to grow and to get to the level where they are able to develop themselves in that kind of way. We cannot forget that things like that exist. We cannot forget that it is difficult for people from minority backgrounds to go to get to attain some certain level. We can't forget that those things are
Yeah.
happening. We're hearing those stories, and one thing that I must say that is important to me is that it is often that that we can think that just because we are able to ignore it, that it's just going to go away or we're going to feel better. But the truth about it is that we should always be striving to build a better future for our children. It's not all about us now, because I always say this to people that I personally, I can, if someone challenge me, if someone tells me things that I feel is insultive to my person, I can deal with that person in my own verbally. I can tell the person that I can't take that from you. You shouldn't talk to me like that, and all of that. But the truth about it is that these kind of barriers that are really, some of the barriers that are there are really dangerous for the development of our children. And if we ignore it and we just get by and we just avoid it like it's not happening, we are doing exactly the same thing that we did in Africa, where we ignored our leaders until they destroyed all our countries, and now we have to run out to go to other countries in order to get a good life for our children. And then we bring those children here and we actually ignore the same kind of a pushback that is coming from the society. But if it's just a pushback where someone is only talking to you and you talk back, that's okay. But if it's a pushback that has to do with their life and their development, their academic growth, or their growth in profession, or their growth in being represented in the areas that are very crucial. Now we shouldn't be ignoring that, because we don't want to leave them to go through the same racism in secondary, in college,
Yes.
the same
Mm,
racism when they are looking for job. They are not giving job because of their name, because of their looks. We cannot
mm,
ignore that. This is too much to ignore. You can't ignore that, because you can be comfortable today. You can think that it's okay that you can, but your children, remember, a good parent is supposed to be building a future for their children. You're supposed to be
absolutely.
passing on wealth and passing on knowledge and passing on a better future for your children. Maybe some of us, like myself, if you're anybody like me, I want to one day when I retire go back to my country and stay with my own people. But I don't. But the children that I have in Ireland that are growing, I want to be able, for the time that they want to stay here when they're still young and trying to get their life. I don't want them to go through the same thing that I saw when I went to college. I don't want them to go through what I saw when I was working. I want them to have an equal opportunity, and by getting involved with the people that are working towards achieving that equality, achieving that right for us, by coming out and joining them and fighting with them to get rid or to reduce racism in the system that we know is there in the system. It is there. It's there.
Yes,
It's there
absolutely.
everywhere. We
Yes.
should not ignore.
Yeah.
So we have to join them, because we cannot leave them to solve the problem for us. They are really wonderful Irish people, like Francine has said, that are out there really fighting to fighting against racism, fighting against inequality, and all of that. And we should be there joining them, because we are the ones that have the problem, but we are the ones that are ignoring the problems and going to work. But our children need a better future. Our children need a better environment when they go to college. Our children need a better environment when they go to look for jobs. So
Yes.
we cannot, no, the barriers are there in the system. There are a lot of far right rising, and their activities are really growing in Ireland, and they are really against migrants and against minority people. And we cannot ignore their activities, because they're spreading bad images and bad stories about us. So we have to
Absolutely.
show something different. We have to come out and show something. We have to join force with the people that are fighting for us, and we also have to show with our own attitude, with the way we behave, the way we participate. We have to show something different. So
Yes.
that's my belief. That's my take on that.
Okay, that's a very good take. That's a very good take. But you are a bit of ahead of us, because we are still going through, to try to navigate through the barriers that we can encounter, and one of which you have already listed is racism, xenophobia, and discrimination across key services, and labor market, of course, So, and we're also going to talk a little bit about what kind of social barriers are there, a part of the discrimination and xenophobia. What kind of social barriers, and how did you navigate through them?
Should I go or should Sister Francine go?
I don't want you
No,
guys
you
are
go.
free.
Okay. Yeah. When I talk about the reason that we started to create things like our magazine, and we started to create basketball team and all the clubs, is because I identified the fact that there's a lot of social activities that our young people are not participating in. Um, some time ago, a young African boy in Westport or Westford or so was poured an acid, and he was playing football with the other team of and two young boys, Irish boys, poured him acid, and that boy has gone now to the United States to continue his life. He never got justice. The mother never got justice. If I talk about it, I just feel like crying. I feel so bad about things like that because it's just so unfair, that would happen to a young boy like that, and that he will not get justice, on he will just leave this country just to have his peace and have his life. That is painful. And something like that comes to us African parents as a shock. I don't want to think that my son will go to play football. I will be treated like that. I wouldn't want that to happen. So if we see something like that happening and we don't even see it, it wasn't in the news. It
Mm,
wasn't. There was no. It wasn't. There was no. Nobody actually went out to. This is a huge issue. Some young boys poured another young child an acid, damaged his face, and that wasn't really in the news. There was no justice for that boy, and I
absolutely.
would think
Yeah.
for myself that I would be afraid as an African parent to
Mm,
send my son to participate in football like that. I would be afraid, and something like that. And I know that things like that is not like it's everywhere, because there's some other counties and some other clubs that are so welcoming. But again, if something like that wasn't, even the way that particular issue was handled, it's enough to make some people go out of it. Like you said yourself, that there are some barriers that make some of our people want to just stay in their own world, because they don't want to go out there, because they know they get the bad look. They know
yes.
they get the reaction when somebody don't necessarily have to tell you the words. Their action can tell you as well, and that can push people
Absolutely.
back. So those kind of social activities, when you go into some certain restaurants and it feels as if, what is this person doing here? Somebody's not telling you the word, but you can see the body language. You can see the way you're
Body
treated.
language, the look. Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I, I,
Yes,
I have
yes.
gone into, I have got to a
Mm,
place that I walk. I told you the place that I walk, and I have brought some guests into that restaurant, and the waitress served all of them and left me out. You can see the whole body language. I waited for a while thinking it was just a mistake, until I just went to her and, like, I gave you my order even before everyone. Why didn't you bring my food and all of that? The reaction from her, all of that. I, I shouldn't read meaning into it, but how can you not read meaning into that?
mm,
And things like that, for someone who is not, because the way that I choose to treat that is to not go into my shell. I choose to go into the environment where I can fight and do the right thing to change that from happening to our future generation. That's what I choose to do. But some people will choose to, like, I'm not going there next time.
yes,
I'm
absolutely.
not going
Yes.
to. I'll just leave my. In fact, I'm not going to the restaurant. I'm not going to the football. I'm not going to their gathering. I'm not going to their pub. I don't want to be giving that kind of reception or that kind of look. I just want to have the food in my house, or just do my own party in my own way.
Yes,
So
yeah, those are some kind of things that prevent us or prevent immigrants to integrate. Those negative public attitude and unbalanced media stories that can both act as significant barriers to social, cultural, and political integrations. So this kind of a behavior, this kind of a treatment, this kind of unwelcoming attributes that certain individual can impact in our lives. It can be very crucial, and and those are really strong barriers. And like you said, like you rightfully said, that can affect also the further development of our children, because like in the other show when we were talking about identity and the cultural mindset in the young adults in Ireland, we talk about the fact that there is a certain subculture that our young people now are having, because we as parents, we did not we were born here, we came, so our children are born here, they are growing up here, so they have these two mindsets. They have a bit of African mindset, but they also have the Irish mindset. But then again, in the fully African culture, they are not accepted because they don't have the full African mindset, because there are certain things that they accept, there are certain things that they repel. And also in Irish society, because of the way they look like, so they are not really automatically accepted. So what happened? They create their own subculture, which is, it can be from the Irish perspective impenetrable, and from African mindset also impenetrable. So that's why we are talking about losing the generation battle. So that generation now, which we are seeing right now in places like Balbriggan, where they actually surnamed it Black Rigan, because what is happening there, the flux and the growth of the minority in that region, the lack of integration, they actually embrace the wrong pattern of the Irish, subculture, which is, criminality, and now, just talking about the social barriers, those young people, the way they are spoken about in the media is completely different than the Irish criminal circle. So when they talk about our young people, the first thing they identify is the color of their skin. They say, they call out the color of their skin, and then they emphasize on the criminal activity that they do. But when it comes about, an Irish person who does exactly the same crime, so there is no emphasis on the personality. It's more the crime itself. It's more watered down. So there is no real fairness in terms of describing the crime, and also, and also talking about the personality of the person who did the crime. So, and that can be also very unfair, like you rightfully said.
100%.
Yeah. So, Francine, my question to you is: even though you have encountered, a positive mindset in terms of, how you have been received, if you ever experienced any pushback, any social barrier pushback in your own experience?
So far in Ireland, I would say no, like a few, I would say, but I agree with what Sister Catherine said. You know what, dear Daniel, I always tell my kids to talk about that. For me, let me go back where I'm coming from. You say my English is, I passed from South Africa. I was there for 12 years.
Okay.
Yeah. So from Congo, my father was in the army, and I sees a lot in my life, and that's why I said that I really run away from that. But what Sister Catherine said, that we need to stay for our kids, and say, I always tell my kids
Yes.
every time when they come from school, are you happy? What is happening to your school? Is anybody bullying you? No, mommy. Okay, you have to stand for yourself. Okay, why? My father was in the army in Africa, in Congo. Very good man, love his country. He wanted to serve and to be there, but he died suddenly because he was very abused after the second president was in. And then I moved to South Africa. You know the xenophobia things that you say right now? I experienced it.
Yes.
The xenophobia
Oh,
things
wow.
from 2008, 2015, and 2018. Nobody would tell me about that because they knows that people from there, we are very different. They knows that this one from Congo, this one from Kenya, this one is not from South Africa. She can't or speak their language because there's the African language there that I force myself to learn it, to say hi in their language. Maybe when I'm in a certain area, I have to speak their language so they can think that I'm from there. But the xenophobic things that make me run away from there and to come in Ireland. And for me, I stand against it a lot. So for what I see in Ireland government, it always say that they're against about racism. I never see much because I'm here 3 years and a half. And then, yeah, what? Like with my color skin, like Sister Catherine said, I can stand for another. But if my client is telling me that you're a slave, what are you doing in my house? I just keep my cool. I don't want to lose my job, but it's really painful, you know. It's really painful to
Okay.
see. So I always tell my kids that you have to be strong and stand for yourself. So, yeah.
Okay, but what gives you the strength for you to keep your cool? Because you are there, you came from, from a country where you experienced xenophobia, right? So then you come to a country like Ireland where you don't expect that kind of a treatment. And then you studied, you learned, and then you try to give back to the community. And then you work as on your professional job. And in your professional job, you are treated as, you are called names. So what how do you take it? Though you have to keep your cool, but does it affect you in one way or the
Because
other?
Daniel, I will lose my cool. I know myself. I remember when I came, I was in Dublin, and we went for our PPS because I was pregnant that time in 2018 when I came. So we went to the office to do the to wait for the PPS number and stuff. So there were Irish people there, and the lady from, I didn't know where that lady was coming from, and because she was just a dark skin, and they were just talking with that Irish woman, and that Irish woman called her, "Monkeys, what are you doing here? You came here for our money." I didn't know the lady, but the way I jumped from my chair to that woman, it was not good. So for me, I know that even I'm talking about that because I know what I see in my life in a young age, and then it's still now in my mind, in my blood. Like if you're talking about my people, like where I know from Nigeria, Kenya, everything, we come from Africa. For me, I call them my sister, I call them my brother. So if that thing happened, I know that it's not gonna be cool for me. Because that day in Dublin, it was not cool. That lady was just like quiet, and then I was talking on a like, you don't have the right to call them monkeys, and I know myself. So if I say like I just want to be like to push myself aside, not to be involved in that thing. And even at work, I feel like I wanna quit, I wanna give up, you know. But you have some our management are very good, and they were showing you love. I'm like, okay, let me keep going. For my children, if that thing happened, that won't be nice. I'm telling you, that won't be nice. So what
Hmm.
Sister Catherine said, we need to stand up for our children to not experience anything. And then I know I ask them question every day because I have kids also are playing in the San Francisco in Athlone. They're playing the football. So I always ask them that there's any friend that is making you uncomfortable. No, mommy, I'm okay.
Yeah.
That's actually my
And
next
Yeah.
question. Yeah, yeah, Sister
Mm.
Catherine, we're gonna go back to you in a second. Let me just, because she talked about the kids. So my question will be to you, Catherine. How do you prepare your children though? Because I know you ask them, Sister Francine, you ask them that, okay, if anybody has been nasty to them or yes or no, and they can say no, right? Maybe that's a positive experience. But then how do you prepare them if they will? Because, in one way or the other, they will experience some negative pushback from the Irish society. But how do you prepare them to stay strong, or like you said, to stay cool?
That's my
okay,
question, right? Oh.
Either one of you.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Go for it.
The thing basically is that you have to have, me personally, you have to have that genuine discussion with your children. Not when they're so, it depends on the age anyway. You can walk it, you be monitoring their progress, and you walk it through gradually. At every stage, you be careful of the information that or the kind of exposure, the things you expose them to. But if they get to a certain age, especially going into secondary school, is so important that you have to have this genuine discussion with them. And they need to understand what is out there, and some of the kind of words that can come, that they will tell you anyway. They already start to say things from primary school. They tell them, some of them get told all of these things, and they will discuss with you. So good thing is to have a good relationship with them where they can tell you everything, and where you can have
Mm,
genuine
Of course.
discussion with them and be honest with them and tell them that this is exactly what can happen and this is exactly what it is. And the most important thing as well is not just to tell them, oh, just bear it and let it go like that. No, because I'm always conscious of how we made the mistake of letting our leaders go for so long.
yeah,
We don't have to
yeah,
just ignore it. Um, the children had to, every time, what I do personally is that, oh my god, I'm always, any school, whatever is said to my child, I will just email the principal. I will say that I need to have a chat with them. I will let my children know that you always have to deal with your issues. We have to do it in a civilized way. We have to do it by asking questions and by saying, please, why did this happen? Someone told my child something like this, and I don't think this is a healthy kind of conversation for children to be having. And I make sure to know the fact that if the other children that are Caucasians are even allowed to say words like this to other children like themselves, the damage is not only happening to the African child, the damage is happening to the white child as well. Because, like it or not, a child who learns how to hate, I don't think that's a healthy upbringing for that child as well. So I follow my children to school if I have to, and try to have the discussion with the principal or whoever. And my children know that they have that protection. They know that they have a mother who will not just let it go, but will go after it and try to solve that problem. So they have that confidence, and that will help them to have, number one, confidence. And again, and it's you teaching them all the good morals of life, or managing them at every time that there's an issue. You have to just manage it in a way of teaching them to be good, but letting them know how to deal with the issue, and not just bearing it, and not just feeling bad. When they talk to you about it,
absolutely.
they won't feel
Mm,
bad. Okay, and when they know that they can come up and ask questions, that why was I told this? I shouldn't be told this, and they can deal with it themselves verbally in a civilized way. That makes it for me, really.
absolutely. And I think it's important also to teach them their value, that they are human beings, that they are valued, that they have an identity, they have a culture,
Of
and
course.
and the goals of their life that is far transcendent than the color of their skin. So
Hmm.
I think those kind of values, when they
Yeah.
know who they are, they know their identity, they know the potential that they can bring, even the change in this Irish society. I think that would give them a boost to continue, despite the fact that you have some people who try to push them down. So, like, there is so many things that we can talk about, but we only have like 15 minutes left. So time is really flying, and I'm enjoying this conversation, and I know that our viewers, they are enjoying as well. So I'm receiving nice comments in here, so we're gonna read them at the later part of the discussion. So my other question is, which intervention worked best and why, in terms of integration? What kind of what kind of methods work best for integration's sake, and why?
You need to say who you're asking the question, so we know what we need to
I'm
answer.
asking both of you. I'm asking both of you so you can. Okay, so
You
let's
go
go
for it.
to
You go for it.
Sister Francine.
I'm after you.
I will go first. Um, um, The truth, what I feel that will work is it has to start from us. We integration. I've said as well that it's not one sided. Like it or not, Daniel, we also have a big problem within our own society, the African community.
Absolutely. Mm.
We have a huge problem of the lack of support for each other. We don't, we're not united enough. And we actually don't support each other. Really, that's a big problem. You cannot even go to start doing anything when you and your own people cannot even meet, you can't even see eye to eye. There's a big barrier as well, even within our own society, that we need to first of all deal with. So if we
Absolutely.
deal with that and we're able to unite, we'll be able to build as nobody's stopping you from, like, I mean, Daniel, you have your own platform now, and you're going and you're creating all of this. Nobody's going to stop you. In fact, the people that are going to praise you for building this thing up and for creating this platform. And so then it's about showing gaining your respect by what you can do, what you can create. So I
Yeah.
think that we cannot keep on asking to be respected, to be treated well, and to allow that they just allow us to get into the system when we haven't even shown that we have what it takes to get in. So, and you can't do that from the outside. You have to be involved. Get into
Yeah.
politics, learn about them, do whatever that is happening in the society, participate in it. Participate in it. Go to work, but don't just go to work 7 days in a week, not even doing any other thing. Come back and your children are not getting to participate and to have their social life and their development, the proper development. And don't ignore the little things that are happening around you, the community groups and all of that are helping to clean up the street, the tidy town, and all these small organizations that they have. And empower yourself with knowledge so that if you create your own tools or platforms, or even try to or build an organization or even start your own company, you can employ people, and that way you can earn your respect, and then
Absolutely.
you don't need
Yes.
to ask for it anymore. So what I'm trying to say is that we need to empower ourselves, and first is to deal with our own differences, our own lack of support for each other and for each other's platforms and for each other's things, and trying to be there and not wanting another person to go there. We have to get rid of that thing that we brought with ourselves, where somebody is up like our leaders and they never want anybody else to be there. So we have to kind of support each other. When somebody is there, another person is coming. A leader is meant to build another leader. So when you are going into a scene, you are now a leader. You need to bring along your own followers and build them up so that they can be greater leaders than yourself. So the whole integration thing has to start with us giving ourselves that respect. Our behavior among ourselves need to show that we are earning our respect. People would genuinely start to respect us and allow us to participate fully the day that we start to think about how to solve our own inner problem and the problem that we have in our own society. Then we can push for the participation by creating our own things,
Yes.
and by empowering our own selves. So that's the way it is. You cannot have a problem and wait for somebody else to solve that problem for you. We can only integrate by ourselves, by informing ourselves, by participating, and by supporting each other, and by learning about the people we are living with and see how we can please them while they also try to please us.
Absolutely. Yes.
100%.
Learning how to please each
100%.
other indeed. So talking about that, I'm gonna introduce this book here, this magazine, which you can clearly see Catherine here, and she is Green's Point local rep for Longford community. So
Long
this
forward,
is the
yes.
work that she has been doing for the past 2 years. This is the second edition of the magazine. And I really want you to get this book, get it, and understand that many many people are actually contributing in the Irish society in a great deal. So in this book talks about few people, just a handful, of people who are actually making a difference in the Irish society. So, uh, Catherine, can you tell us more about this magazine? How did you start? How did you start, and what motivated you to start this magazine?
Thank you so much, Daniel. And actually, it's just down to one of the point that you made earlier about what the media publishes about our community. We know that there's a bias or unconscious bias in the media, mainstream media, where the kind of stories that we hear every time is when one African person does something bad and all of that. So I felt that there's a need for us to tell our own stories. I felt that there need to be a platform where we are showing the positive things that are happening in the Irish uh, community that we Africans are actually doing. And we hear a lot of, oh, Nigerians are this and this country and doing that and that. And we cannot allow only the negative stories to be going out. It is very
Yeah.
dangerous because there's some very genuine, simple people that actually they will only believe what they hear.
Mhm.
And you can't blame them for that because that's what is going into their ears. That's what people are hearing. So if you want to ignore, again, the kind of story that is being published about you every time, you think it doesn't affect you directly, but it will affect your community and it will affect the way people treat you when you're looking for job. It will affect the way people treat our children in future. So I want the people that are at home, that are sitting at home and only hearing the bad things about Africans, to hear that, to see for themselves the good work that many other Africans are doing in this country that is not being told. So the
Absolutely.
stories of our doctors, the stories of our African nurses, the stories of people like you, Daniel, the stories of everyone that is doing great in this community, in Irish society, is what I'm putting out there so that people can hear that positive thing that is happening as well. And that's what the magazine. That's how I started the magazine, and really.
Awesome, awesome. It's a great read. Even though I myself as Mudak Design put it together, but I read this and I can identify, of course, a lot of stories that are told here are genuine stories, are personal experiences, which can motivate many, not only immigrants but also Irish themselves. It can motivate them to not to feel powerless, but powerful in the little way, in the little knowledge that they have. They can actually empower if they know how to use the simple thing as love, love for
Yeah.
one another, because with love we can actually embrace people who are different than us,
Mm,
identify their pain and also identify their purpose in life, and then together, like you talk about unity, being united not only with the fellow immigrants but also with Irish, we can actually change a lot of things, especially now with this pandemic, with the new surge that is emerging there, the great, separation, the great division between the vaccinated and unvaccinated. That's another war that we have to fight again. You understand? So that's it seems so simple. It seems like laughable, but it's a big deal. It's a big situation going on right now. You see, so but we're not going to talk about that now. I want to, we're going to a close now. We only have 6 minutes left. Oh my God, time is flying, and
I will just,
Francine,
Daniel, I will
I
just
can't
talk
hear
about
you.
love. Just give me a few minutes. Can you hear me now?
We can you hear her?
yeah, I can
Yes,
hear
I can
her.
I
hear you.
can't hear
Can you
you,
hear me?
Francine.
No, maybe you mute me. Check on your
I can
sister
hear
Catherine. Can
you.
you hear me, right?
Fine indeed, yeah.
Daniel, no? What is happening there?
Oh, I could not hear anything. Okay. So I
Can you
just
hear me?
I
That
wanna
I will
ask
just.
you.
Yeah.
I just wanna ask you, Francine. Because I could not hear for some reasons. I could not hear what you were saying. I just wanted to ask you. What advice can you give to someone? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I
Okay.
can hear you.
What advice could you give to someone who recently came to Ireland and is having struggle, who's struggling to integrate into the society? What advice can you give to that person?
My advice I'll give to someone to find the group, to find the African group. I have experience by myself. When I heard about Sister Catherine group from one of my friend, and then I say, okay, it's fine. And what I feel in that group, I just feel love. There was so much love. I get the calls and they were asking me about what you want to do, what is your struggle and stuff. I just feel love. That's what I wanted to say, Daniel. It's just about love. What you just mentioned now, everywhere you go, even if you feel down, but you need to find people like Sister Catherine say. You need to empower our people. Just find the group, like where I'm also here in Athlone. We have a Athlone African community group. Oh my goodness, there's so much love there. There's so much contribution, and we went to this nursing home to donate something. So if you are here in Ireland and you can't, maybe you have so much trouble, you can integrate, just find the African group where you can feed the love. Sister Catherine, she's there. We have a group from Longford and Athlone. Just be because our community, like myself, I can say Congolese people, and I didn't really feel the love, but I I integrate myself to any group that I see. Okay, I want to learn more about other cultures and stuff. That's my advice that I can give to anyone that is here in Ireland. You need to find the African group and be involved, and you're going to feel much. You're going to see much people are there. They're going to pour love in you. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Hmm.
Getting involved. That's very important.
Yeah.
That's one of the takeaway that I'm going to use today. And Catherine, just for 1 minute, we only have 1 minute left. Unfortunately, time flow, and I still have few questions though. But I think uh, we got to have part two. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I think we have to have part two because I did not finish my question. Catherine, with your experience, I didn't even ask you how you got involved with the Green Party. I think we're gonna leave that for the part two. So, for you, what advice can you give to someone who is struggling to integrate, someone who has been in Ireland for many many years and is still having difficulties to integrate?
100%. Sister Francine just nailed it right there. You have to find a group in your community. Even if you don't have like an ethnic minority or like ethnic group around you, you can look for any. I think there's something called the Community Resource Center. We have that in so many countries as well. You can go to them because those organizations are actually funded to look after migrants and all of that. You can go there and try to see they can connect you to groups like ours. And the ethnic minority hub is a hub. It's the whole of Ireland. We have members from all over Ireland. Always and contact. Go online and search for ethnic minority hub, or just go online and search for African groups or minority groups and try to ring them and ask them questions and just get information. Because if you don't have information, you don't have power. If you're having a problem, don't stay by yourself. Don't solve it only by yourself because it's very tough for your brain, for your mental health. So look for information and reach out to people that will understand you, and just seek that help. And that's what I would say is so important. If you check us, we're on Facebook, Ethnic Minority Hub. Contact me anytime, and I will be there to support you in any way that I can.
Awesome. Thank you indeed for that advice, Catherine. So, Catherine, how can our viewers follow you? How can they reach out to you? I see your Instagram ID over there. Where else can they reach you?
Yeah, so that's my Instagram ID, and my name is. If you just type Catherine Joseph on Facebook, you see my political page, so you can follow me there. The Ethnic Minority Hub as well is there. We share a lot of information there. You can even ring me, and my number is 087 611 6401. And yeah, just get in touch. You can follow me as well, Catherine Joseph. I'm on Twitter and all of that. Yeah.
Awesome. And Francine, French name. How can our viewers follow you?
Daniel, I didn't tell you much about me. I have my YouTube channel too that I teach our women how to be a bit clean, how to mind your body. So my YouTube channel is Francine Midua, Midua, Francine Midua. So you can learn more about how to be a bit clean. When you're a mother, you're busy and you forgot about yourself. So there's some of the topics there that you can learn. So on Instagram, my name is Francine Punga 45. That you can follow me there. On Facebook, oh gosh, I have a long name on Facebook that is Francesco. It's a long name, but you can just type Francesco. You're going to see me on Facebook and some of the knowledge that I'm giving to the women and to the young women, how to mount yourself, how to be really calm and be patient. God bless.
Awesome. I had a blast. I have. I can tell you, I've learned a lot from both of you. And I am certain that our viewers learned a lot as well. We're gonna come back with part 2. We're going to let our viewers know when we can organize the second part, where we can talk more about Francine, about what she's doing, what she's all about, how she
to learn a bit about French.
Yeah. Indeed. And we will also talk about Catherine's political career, so she can tell us how she started and what she's doing and all that. So ladies, it was really a pleasure to have you on Transformational Show, and I know you will subscribe and you will share also this platform with as many as you can, of course, because they need to hear this. They need to hear what you guys shared, because this is it's great information. Many people pay money for this, but they're getting here for free. So the only thing that you need to do is to subscribe on Shemen TV, on Kingdom Matters, Transformational Shows, so they can have more and more of this information. So for tonight, thank you for joining us, all of you, and see you next time. See you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Daniel, for having us.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for coming. Definitely.
Merci.
Thank you. Yeah. So our viewers, that was Francine and Catherine Joseph on Transformational Show, the power of integration. I want you to, if you missed a certain part of this conversation, go back and review it again. I want you to subscribe. I want you to follow. I want you to comment. If you have any questions, please send them through, and we're going to redirect those questions to either Catherine or Francine that will be able to answer. So next time we're gonna be on Transformational Show again at the same time on Saturday next week, 9 p.m. same platform, same time. I want you to connect. I want you to tell your friends to tell their friends to tell their friends. Transformational Show is here to transform one another. Is here to learn from one another. So I want you really to share this platform with as many as you can. So next Saturday we're going to have a topic which is more church related. It's about division and multiplication, subtraction, and addition in the church. So, guys, thank you tremendously for connecting, and may God bless you and enjoy your weekend. So, until then, see you next time.